Hello, this is Elaine Sugar, award-winning children's program facilitator and overall supporter of children's dreams. Welcome to the Empower Teen Self-Esteem podcast. We bring you ideas and resources that help teens shine and help ease parents' minds. Hello, we are going to hear a very powerful story today on this episode of Empower Teen Self Esteem. So, I started this podcast because I want to make sure that our teens know just how special and how powerful they are and how important it is for you to believe in yourself. Today, you are going to hear from someone that has firsthand knowledge and experience on what it means to overcome difficulties, to work through them, to get on the other side and have success. Today, we are talking with Morris the Connector. So, welcome, Morris the Connector. How are you today?
I'm feeling good. Thank you, Elaine, for having me here. I'm feeling good. Every day I wake up and I'm breathing, I have to feel good about that.
Your energy is fantastic. So, first, I want you to take a moment and tell our audience, our listeners out there, a little bit about yourself.
Well, about me, my name Morris the Connector is that's like my alter ego name. And it came about by me finding myself and connecting to myself and realize that anything is possible. If you separate the word, it says I'm possible. So I believe that we're here for a reason. I believe that every one of us are kings and queens. We're born, we're dying people, but we're fighting to find ourselves. I had trouble finding myself, I must say. I was in some darkness, but guess what? The light always shines over darkness because you are the light, people. And I'll tell you a little bit about myself. I grew up with my mum and five siblings.
Mm-hmm.
My dad left when I was 7 years old. I struggled with that. I struggled greatly because I loved my dad. Fast forward to when I was 13, 14, I was getting bullied at school, but it wasn't by the kids, funny enough. It was by the teachers. And when I look back, what I'm going to tell you here, I overstand it. I understand it and I overstand it so I can explain to you. They were bullying me, telling me that I'll be nothing in life. What a horrible thing to say to a 14-year-old kid, putting him in a corner and telling him he won't be nothing in life. Sit there. Yes, I must say, I was a disruptive kid in the class, but there was a reason for that. With
Yeah.
five siblings, with my mum struggling with her health and things like that, the social services in England wanted to take us away and separate us into different homes, and my mum fought back from her
Wow.
hospital bed and said, "No, don't take my kids because I don't want them separated." So
Mm.
yes, I had trouble with the authorities because when you have a kid growing up, man, discipline is a problem when they don't know themselves. So I would have liked for that teacher to say to me, "Listen, what is the problem, Morris?
Yeah.
Let's have a talk. Let's see if we can do something for you. Not put you
Wow.
in a corner and say to you, you're not going to be nothing in life." But fast forward, when I left school, I didn't even know myself really. I, I, I had no confidence. And going back and thinking about that, no confidence, no belief. I didn't know that I could be anybody. And that's the truth. And I did try and get a job, but there was a barrier there. Sometimes I used to go for an interview, they'll say there's no vacancies. Then my white friend would go and he would get the job. And I would think, wow, how did you get that job? He would say,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, well, there was vacancies there. But anyway, fast forward, after about a year, my friends started to make money, so I started to make money. They were selling drugs.
Mm-hmm.
And when they say money is the root of all evil, it's not. It's the love of money. And I started to love money. And I'll say to every kid in that's listening to this now, I'll say to
Yes.
every kid, listen, go to school, find something you love, and stick to it. Find a progressive idea and stick to it. Because a nurse that says she wants to be a nurse and grows up to be a nurse, that's success, right? And every one
Yes.
of us has success in every follower. I'm telling all of you, there's a leader waiting to come out and lead the world from the front. But me, I never knew that. I had no empowerment. I was selling drugs for 12 years. 12 years I was selling drugs. going to jail and coming out of jail, raving and going to clubs, nightclubs. I had all the jewelry and money and everything. But there comes a time in our life where kids, you don't want to experience what I experienced. You get me? You could start from now and just learn and study. Make that a habit because learning is just a habit. I made the habit of smoking and drinking and making money selling drugs. That was my habit. But there came a time when a catalyst happened that knocked me for six. And it was when my son passed away. He was 18 months old. And I never even knew him. I hugged him about 10 times because I was out there
Wow.
partying, thinking this was the way of life. But that's not the way of life, people. The way of life is finding something progressive to do and loving what you're doing because then that becomes a gift from God. And I never knew that. I wanted to kill myself because my son had passed away. He died tragically at home. And my mum used to say to me, Morris, come to church.
Mm-hmm.
And I used to say to her, Mum, I haven't got enough time to come to church, man, because I was partying and drinking and loving that night. But at this stage, I wanted to commit suicide. I was seeking, man.
Mm.
And in the Bible, it says, seek and you shall find. Knock and the door will be open. And I was knocking. And I'll say to everybody here and now, adversity introduces a man to himself and a woman, because it certainly did me. And in our darkest hours, we need to focus on the light. And I focused on that light. I went to church and I started to enjoy it. And I started to build up a momentum by going to work. And people laugh when I say this. I was enjoying working, just doing anything, just any little job. I was enjoying it because I just wanted to be somebody to show my other kids that I can be somebody.
Mm-hmm.
So my mindset was changing. When I say mindset changing, set mind. I was setting my mind to become somebody. That's all I wanted to be. And I started to work and do menial jobs, and a momentum started to come, and I worked. And it took about 8 years. After 8 years, I was able to set up a chauffeur company, right, that now drives Justin Bieber, Beyonce, Whitney Houston tour done in 2010. And this is a guy that never thought he could even get a job, much less thinking that he could one day have a company. No, but I'm saying to all you kids, you can become anything you want to become so long as you believe.
Yes,
Because
you
it's about
can.
believing is seeing, not seeing is believing. And I set up this company that I do now. But what I've got to say now is like, we have to be careful of what's happening to us. We have to believe in ourselves because in 2007, my sister passed away. In 2010, my mum passed away. 2011, my dad passed away. In 2015, my common law wife committed suicide. She left a 13-year-old and a 30-year-old. So I had to become a single dad while I was running my company. But I never gave up. And I'm telling every one of you here, never give up because on the other side, pain
Mm-hmm.
doesn't last forever. The
Wow.
pain is your gain. And in 2018, I lost another son. But I never gave up because I believed that God had brought me this far not to fail me. And I used to say in 2015, for 3 months, I went through a little depression, but I believe God had my back. And I
Mm.
used to say, why me, God? Why me many times? But I'm telling you now, I say, try me now. Try me. Come on, God. Give me some more pain because I know that pain's been my gain. Because where I am now, I have the weapons of mass destruction, the will of God, the mindset to get me through anything I want in this world. And I could go on if you want me, Elaine, but I'm sure you've got questions to ask.
Yes. So, first of all, thank you for sharing such personal, um, tragic events for the benefit of helping those who may be going through something similar to get through those times, because you could have held that in, and I understand that it must not be easy to talk about. So first of all, thank you for being willing to share it. I just think, if we have some teens out there or their parents who may be financially strapped right now, having trouble with money, and you see this opportunity to make money selling drugs, how did you walk away from that money? How do you maybe go and stop making thousands of dollars selling drugs to doing a job at somebody else's business until you can afford your own. What do you say to someone that has to make that choice or that's considering selling drugs?
I would say this to them. I would say, do you enjoy what you're doing? Because a lot of the times, teenagers don't enjoy what they're doing. It comes a time where they're not enjoying doing that. They might experience that. But what I would say, get something that you love. Find something because you can. If you say you can, you can. If you say you can't, you can't. But I
Mm-hmm.
would say to a teenager, listen, you can, right? Find something because God has given you a gift like He gave me a gift. I had to take time and find mine and go through the pain to gain it, right? But the pain's been my gain. It doesn't mean say you're going to go through it like I went through it. We're
Mm-hmm.
going to experience it in different ways. And I will say to every teenager, within you, there's a leader. Within you, there's
Mm-hmm.
a purpose. Within you, there's a gift from God that you have. And the easiest way to find it is to say, yes, I want to do something that is purposeful, right? And once you say that, your mind will click into place, right? And your heart will click into place because I believe the heart is the mind, right? Because it's always heartfelt. Because when I used to sell drugs, it wasn't heartfelt. It was like,
Mm.
what am I doing? But I felt like I needed to do it.
Mm-hmm.
So it comes from the heart, then it goes to the mind. And if your heart's not in it, then you're not in it. So do something about it by changing
Fantastic.
your perspective. Yes.
I love that. And so we may all experience loss at some point in life, and that can be very painful. You just shared multiple family members that were very close to you that you lost. So I talk about positivity, but I make it clear to people that I'm not being unrealistic. I'm not saying that you're never going to have sadness, that you're never going to hurt. So, can you talk a little bit about how, when painful things happen, how do you let that human side of you experience that sadness, that frustration, but not get stuck in an unhealthy depression? How do you balance that when something painful happens?
Depression is thinking of the same thing all the time. That's what this depression is. When you think of something all the time, it just gets worse and worse. So if
Mm-hmm.
we're able to change our mind, what I do, I build up a callus. I put something there. I believe, like I said to you earlier, right, when my son died and he was 18 months old, I thank God for that because that was his time. That was his reason for dying was to save my life, just like Jesus died for us. Because would I be this person I am now? I don't think I'll be. Would
Mm-hmm.
I be alive now? I don't know. Would I be in jail now? I don't know. One thing I know, he died for a reason. So when in every death that happened in my family, I put a reason there that was positive for it. Do you understand? I put something there in place. And our thoughts determines the outcome because you can make your thoughts become you. And that's what depression is. Do you understand? So if we form a habit of thinking of the same thing all the time, or we could
Hmm.
change that. We could change that and think of something positive all the time to overcome that by putting something in place and saying, God saved my life to be here now. He took my mum away or my sibling away or whoever away. It was their time. I thank God I had a good experience with them. And think of the happy times. Think about the joyous times. Because
Yeah.
it's not sad times. It's
Mm-hmm.
not sad times. There's happy times for you. You're still here. God has given you life still to breathe, right? They might have taken them away. Don't be selfish.
Hmm.
Rejoice that they've gone on to their next stage in their life. Rejoice for them. It's not mourning, it's about rejoicing, rejoicing and thanking God that you're still alive to create what you need to create to leave behind something for your family to relate to and be happy about. And that's the way I looked at it. Everyone that died in my family, I put it down to everybody's got their time.
Right.
God has given us time. Here isn't eternity. He's given us time to do anything we want to do. A cat can only be a cat, and a dog can only be a dog, but God has given you the will to be anything you want to be, so long as you want to be it. And don't let your thoughts become you, because there's an outcome for everything you do. When you think about something, think about the outcome. Is it
Hmm.
the outcome you want? Because the outcome I got when I was selling drugs and when I went to jail, it wasn't the outcome that I liked, but it
Excellent.
started from somewhere, and everything starts from somewhere. Everything starts from somewhere. Your thoughts determines that. Your choice determine that. So what choice are you making? Because at the end of the day, are you going to accept what you get or what you become?
That is so powerful. And when you were talking, one of the things you mentioned was that we need to find our gift. And sometimes when you're young, you might try several different things until you get to that place where you found your gift. How do you identify that? So I might be a teen and I might be starting my first job at 16, and maybe I'm working at the grocery store bagging groceries, and I say, well, I'm doing this to make money for the summer, but this isn't my gift. So how do you know when you've gotten to that place where it's your gift?
Well, for me, I could tell you clearly when I was the gangster, yes, I was enjoying it, but then I wasn't enjoying it.
Mhm.
I needed to find a way out, and your mind determines the outcome. But something happens for you because life happens for you. So if
Mhm.
you have the mindset and you're thinking about something, it's going to happen for you. It's going to connect with what you want. You just have to believe. And what happened to me, it was a momentum of things that made me, like I said in my earlier, I said I was enjoying working.
Mhm.
Remember, I never worked when I left school. I turned to selling drugs. But here I was after my son's death and going to church and everything. I started to enjoy working. So by enjoy working, I didn't know I was going to be the person I am now. I didn't know I was going to be able to have a chauffeur company driving the biggest pop stars in the world. I didn't know I was going to have a school, open a school for alternative learning. I didn't know I was going to open a TV station for the alternative for the kids to come and express themselves. I didn't know I was going to go to 10 Downing Street, which is the place where the Prime Minister resides at in England, to talk to him
Wow.
about knife crime, right? I didn't know I was going to be this person. But one thing I knew was that I wanted to become somebody and walk with God, right? And enjoy the ride. And I will say to every teenager, listen, enjoy the ride. Because if you're not enjoying the ride, get off of that bus and get
Hmm.
on another bus, right? Get on another bus. Because if you're doing that, you'll find the right bus that will take you to your destination of happiness.
That is such powerful advice. I know this is a lot for our teens and their parents to consider. Um, Morris the connector, you connect dots very well, and I think it's to our listeners' benefit that we have you here today. I know I'm personally enjoying this. I love the
Thank you.
passion with which you speak. I love it when people can communicate what's in their heart. So that's a beautiful gift that you have. Do you want to tell everyone about the school that you're working to establish, and then make sure that we know how to get in contact with you?
Yeah, my school is for alternative learning, which I never got. I believe that the system that is in place in England anyway, I don't know about America, but it
Mm-hmm.
was there to fail me and it fails many teenagers because maths and English we do need. But
Mm-hmm.
I didn't need to know about all this other history. If
Mm-hmm.
you give a kid something that they love, they'll enjoy it
Mm-hmm.
and they'll become it. And if I was able to become what I wanted to become, like a progressive idea. You give a kid a progressive idea, they can thrive in that and become that. My school's going to be about empowerment and life skills. So the kids are going to leave school and know how to cope in this world and have empowerment in doing what they want to do. My teachers will listen to the kid and say, "What do you want to do, son? What do you want to become?" And we'll have a platform for that music or carpentry or
Mm-hmm.
something. We'll have a platform for that. So in England, with my foundation, Moisture Connector Foundation, we'll be able to set up a school here and in Ethiopia to make these kids become leaders of the world, because the kids are the leaders. And you can connect with me on moisterconnector.com, Instagram. Connect to there's a link in there for you could download a free, did you hear me? A free personality and an accountability program that you can hold yourself accountability for your actions. And in that, you can leave your details and connect with me in what you can do to help me. Because I've left something to help you. What can you help me with? Because we all need help in this world. Sharing is caring. Each one, teach one. MoisterConnector.com. Moister Connector Instagram. Moister Connector Twitter. Moister Connector Facebook. You can't get rid of me, people. I'm here to stay, to empower the world with my enlightenment, because you are the light. I'm connected to the light now and connected to the right source, and I send out the right vibrations to get the energy that displays it to every one of you. There's no difference between me and you, teenagers. I live this, what I'm talking. Believe in yourself and connect with yourself and be happy with yourself. You will achieve anything you want. I'm Maurice the Connector. Elaine, are you finished with me yet?
You know what? We are going to stay connected, Mr. Connector, because you have absolutely impacted me, inspired me, and I know that we are going to have a lot of listeners that are going to feel the same way. So don't worry, we're not going to let you get rid of us. We're going to follow you. I will
I'm here.
definitely
I'm
be
here.
in touch.
I'm not going nowhere until the time comes. And let me just finish this.
Sure.
Muhammad Ali said, the service we give in this world is the rent we pay for being here. I'm paying my rent before I leave here, because here God has given me time to impact you teenagers, you people. And then I get my key to the door with the love that I give to you people. So I want my key to the door. So I'm going to do what I need to do with all my love, because I want to go on to eternity and open that door with my key. And that's where I remain the same. Thank you very much, Elaine.
Fantastic. That quote that you shared from Muhammad Ali, I used that in a Facebook post within the past 45 days. That same quote. So
Oh,
there's
man, you're lying. The truth will set you free, Elaine. That's the truth.
I
It'll
am
set
gonna
you free,
I
see.
am gonna show you my Facebook post so you can see that exact quote. There are so many things you say that resonate with me. We met for a reason.
Everything's
So
for a reason, man.
that's
Your
right.
pain is your gain. Pain is your gain. And I'm smiling every day. Every day I smile. Every day I smile and get up. Some people say, Morris, how come you can be happy every day? You know what my answer is, Elaine?
Uh-huh.
I make sure. I make sure. You know, you can. You can. Because I can.
We can.
We can. Yeah.
Yes,
That's
we
even better.
can.
We can. Yes,
Yes,
we
we
can.
can.
Yes, you
Yes.
can, listeners. Yes, you can, listeners.
Yes, you can. All my young people, all my parents out there, yes, you can. So I am going to assume, I know that you have enjoyed this episode of Empower Teen Self Esteem with Morris the Connector. Thank you so much for listening, and we look forward to bringing you more episodes. Thank you for joining us for this episode of Empower Teen Self-Esteem. Please follow Kids More Sugar on social media. Please do subscribe to our YouTube channel to show that you support this content. And you can visit our website at kidsmoresugar.com to learn more about our free online kids program. Thank you.